Hello everyone, Wednesday, March the 13th. First reading is taken from the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 49. I'm going to read near the end of this first reading. It's something probably most of you have heard before. But Zion said, "The Lord has forsaken me, the Lord has forgotten me. Can a woman forget her nursing child, or show no compassion for the child of her womb? Even these may forget, yet I will not forget you." So this opens up for us a lot of things to reflect on. Number one, many times we go through this life thinking that He's forgotten us. He doesn't care about us, He's too busy for us. All those things, it's kind of those cover the sentiment. Now this could be because, number one, consequences of our sin. And it's not that God is not close to us, we've basically pushed Him away. So then we tend to think, well, God thinks I'm unworthy and I've done all these horrible things, or I'm doing these horrible things. So I feel, distant from God. Two is life. Sometimes life just throws things at us. Some things happen to some people that doesn't happen to others. Some people are more sick than others. Some people are caught in the trap that wealth brings. Many wealthy people, Hollywood people, they become addicted to drugs. Many, I don't really know how many, but we've heard enough, tragic stories of these very qualified, competent, good actors, singers. We get into a lifestyle. They get hooked on it. They got the money for it, and it winds up killing them. It could be that. It could be a permissive will of God. For all we know, this is what God has permitted to us, permitted for our life. The God is saying through the prophet Isaiah, it's not because we feel that God has abandoned us. He has not forgotten us. He's not abandoned us. And God opens up His heart here to us and says, even if a woman, forgets a child, feeding at her breast, I will never forget you. I will never forget you. I love you. God made us for happiness. So this is very important for us to on good days, this is not difficult for us to reflect on, right? It's encouraging, but on difficult days, it can be very, very, very difficult. So it's important that we, really try to go through this reading through the day and just remind ourselves that God really does love us, for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health, until death do us part. No matter what we do. He hates the sin we commit, but He never hates us. Never. Okay, over to the gospel. It is from St. John. Jesus healed a man who was paralyzed on the Sabbath. Therefore, the Jews started persecuting Jesus because He was doing such things on the Sabbath. It's terrible, isn't it? Healing on the Sabbath, making a man whole, and they persecute Him. It's unbelievable. But Jesus answered them, "My Father is still working, and I also am working." So anybody who thinks Jesus was somehow mealy-mouthed, just read this over again. He makes them more furious, more determined, more resolved to kill Him, because He's not backing down. He's in your face. And the reason in this case He's in your face is because they're so arrogant, they're so stubborn, they're so proud. And He's just basically saying, I'm not changing. Like, you get on board or you'll wind up going to hell. That's what's going to happen. You're going to lose your immortal soul, because I'm it. I'm it. I'm really the it. I'm not sure what more I could say about this. It's just, Jesus. It's not that he doesn't have a lack of respect for the Sabbath. In fact, He keeps the Sabbath in its fullness, or to its fullness. It is they, in fact, who are disrespecting the Sabbath and disrespecting God, because Jesus points out all sorts of things, loopholes they create in order to, look like they're keeping the law when in their hearts they're not keeping the law. They find all sorts of ways in which to get around it, which usually happens in an over-litigated society. When there's so many laws, there's little breathing room. People with legal backgrounds, or they're wily, or they're weasels, they create loopholes to get around them, right? when in fact the law calls us, to love God. That's the essential nature or purpose of the law. Yes, it's to prevent us from falling, our disordered behaviors getting out of control, to bring justice, where crimes are and so on. But it's really help us to love God. It's help us to basically be disciplined enough so that we can actually love God and not be a slave to our passions. So today, just have this new appreciation of how Jesus defended the Sabbath for you and for me. God bless you.